I had like a 1 point something GPA in high school. Like it was no bueno.
What'd you get on the ACT?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
I got a 16.
I got a 17, so thank you. That helps. That makes me feel better. Like I wasn't a complete dumbass on the show. Thank you.
Yeah. But
cheers to the 17s.
cheers to the 16s.
Hey.
They're out there. Where I transitioned, though, is I played baseball. And so that was kind of my saving grace. I was denied by about every school I just applied to.
Because you had a 1.8 GPA.
Yeah, and so I had to get into school another way, and that was through baseball. So I was able to play college baseball. I was hurt, so I decided to come back to Utah. And my sophomore year of college, I fell right back into the same trap. Baseball created that structure and that accountability that I needed.
Yeah, and it, like motivation almost, right? Like that was like what you were trying to live your life to be.
Correct, and it was outside.
Earlier you talked about harmony, right? And finding that harmony in your life. Would you say baseball was kind of the harmony to that?
Yeah, it was just like a great question is looking back at your longest relationship with something, not with someone, with something, and recognizing your life and what it was while you were doing that. So Melanie, my girlfriend, asked me, what is that? What in your life did you do for the longest amount of time that you don't pay any attention to anymore? And it was baseball. And it brought up a really good point of reflecting back on why I was doing so well while I was playing baseball, mentally.
Why were you in
happiness.
alignment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was because I had these goals and aspirations, right, that could counterbalance my ADD in school. I was good at something else. Therefore, I had to be good at school in order to play baseball.
When your focus becomes on baseball, which is not a part of school, but school naturally comes with it.
You can't fail in school in order to play baseball.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand, and that's that harmony of finding something that you super, super enjoy, whether it be within or outside of work, and creating that harmony between the two so that you have something to look forward to. And so through college, I actually dropped out of college because I stopped playing baseball. I'm not quite sure I went into depression. I've always been a very happy person, but I just was lost completely. So I started bartending and working at a restaurant in Salt Lake.
To make ends meet? Did you think there was something there?
To be completely honest, I had no desire to do anything in life.
But you had to do something, right?
Yeah, it was almost just like, what's going to pay the bills to live whatever life I'm currently living. I had no aspirations to be rich. It just was never it was never talked about. Nobody ever asked me what I want to do. It was always just like, are you going to go back to school? Are you going to go back to school? Which
you probably in your mind linked to baseball, right? And so there's kind of like this D-Day coming of like, hey, baseball ends at some point.
Well, I got hurt, so I couldn't physically play baseball anymore. Still to this day, I cannot throw a baseball, right? Like you can't make it to the pros without being able to throw.
Yeah.
So it got to the point where I just didn't necessarily have something I was super motivated by. And a gentleman would walk in, and he was a regular Tuesday at 10:30 for lunch, and we'd get a slice of pizza and a drink. And I think the bill was maybe $5, and he would leave me a $20 tip every time. So I just started like processing like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That's different.
It's different.
A 400% tip is different.
And you know, that's when I started articulating money to certain like different areas. It wasn't just $20, it was 400% or whatever that percentage is, right? And recognizing, oh, that's a massive return for that guy to give me $20. It's not just $20, right? If you have $1 million and you give away 20, it's essentially nothing.
But the difference between giving away $5 for your meal and $20, because
correct,
the kid bartending,
and
talk to you, whatever reason he saw, right?
So through all of that, there was a company that came to our restaurant and rented out the whole restaurant, and I was selected to be his personal kind of waiter assistant that whole evening. And I think I got a $1,000 tip. And so money started to like become more affluent in my life. Like it just became very apparent that money is relatable to things that I enjoyed doing. And which is
different than saying you're motivated by money.
Correct.
You're motivated by doing those things that you had to have money to get.
Yeah. Could I be happy without it? 100%, because I was happy. But it came down to the point where I didn't have a car because I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Maxed out all my credit cards. So I have horrible credit. Maxed out, I was riding a skateboard to work through all seasons in summer, like
at what
winter. Age? This was 20, 21, 22. Yeah. So
with real life, whatever that is, coming down the barrel of a gun.
Yeah. I mean, it was all very, very, very real and very apparent. But that attachment to money became my harmony, just like baseball.
It replaced baseball.
Yes. Now I wanted to be someone, but I still had no idea how.
So who was the mystery man? Was he a real estate agent? Was he?
He is. I will absolutely plug him because he, to this day, like, it's not that we stay in touch all the time, but we bumped into each other the other day, and it was a very, very amazing moment for me to reflect back on. His name's Mark Rogers, and Mark Rogers still sells real estate in Salt Lake. It's bad of me to say I haven't followed up enough and stayed in contact enough to know exactly how he's doing, what he's doing, but I know he's still selling real estate. I think he owns his own brokerage. So he inspired me by giving me that $20 tip, but it wasn't just once, it was every day consistently. And he would very casually, as he was walking out the door, just ask what I wanted to do. And it was never to get the right answer.
And he was the first person to ask you that, you said.
Yeah. And it became this relationship that blossomed into, I can't afford real estate school. You're telling me to go do real estate. Well,
can we put that into perspective for a second? Real estate school is like $500.
Yeah.
Real estate school is like $500 and 120 hours. So like
I was broke. So
you're broke.
I was broke.
You're trying to figure out how to find $400 or $500 to do your 120 hours of online school.
Yeah, but again, it was relative. Did I want to do it? No, I had no idea what to expect or anticipate. So he just said, I'll pay for it. And he slid his credit card over and he said, your tip today is going to be real estate school. I had a laptop, so I pulled it out behind the bar, signed up for real estate school.
Put his credit card info in.
Put his credit card
cool
information
dude.
in.
Seriously.
And
that's one of the cooler stories I've heard so far.
Yeah. And it just got to the point where, I started classes. I started going through the online schooling. Like I just started doing it. And truthfully, Melanie came into my life right at that moment where I kind of was fizzling back out, right? Because he was telling me how much money he makes, like all these things. And I just started, I guess, disassociating with money again because I didn't have any. So it was exciting.
And it probably seemed really far out of reach at that point too, right?
So that goes into my why now.
Yeah.
Is I feel like I'm incredibly relatable to a lot of people. Therefore, I can be a vehicle for them to find success because they can associate and attach themselves to me and my story and even who I am now.